Hey, good morning, sports bettors. It is Matt Modi here with OddsJam, aka Jedi Modi, coming to you. Let's chat about this Monday Night Football game between the Chiefs and the Raiders. So this game being played in Kansas City. Unsurprisingly, Kansas City is pretty monster favorites here on the money line. You can get them at minus 315. Not a horrible price with the average odds at minus 333. I'm certainly not touching the Chiefs money line. If you did think the Raiders had a chance for an upset here, plus 301, the best odds you can get on the money line, average odds of 269. A little bit of a better value there. So crazier things have happened. The Raiders have beat the Chiefs before, but with that said, they beat the Chiefs once out of their last 9 games against each other. So not exactly a great history, great precedent set there by the Raiders. Of course, the page that I am looking at is completely free to access. Just go to oddsjam.com, sports, NFL, choose the game, free line shopping. The Chiefs sitting at 3-1, the Raiders sitting at 1-3. Unsurprisingly, Chiefs are 7-point favorites here at home. I kind of like the Chiefs at this number. If I had to give a prediction, I would probably say the Chiefs cover this one. I think this Raiders team, they're just not good. Last year, the Chiefs scored a combined 89 points in their 2 games against the Raiders last year. Of course, this is a different Raiders team, different coaching staff, whatever. That Raiders team last year was better than this Raiders team. They went to the playoffs, and that was after losing their head coach through that whole scandal. So that Raiders team last year was better. We've seen Josh McDaniels, not exactly a great coach who can figure things out. So getting the Chiefs a touchdown spread, I wouldn't take it above the minus 7 number. As you can see, Pinnacle has this at 7.5. Other sharp books have it at 7, including Bookmaker and BetOnline. So anything above that 7 number, I don't think is worth it because that extra half point is massive in terms of winning by a touchdown, obviously. In terms of the total, I will say for handicapping purposes, I would have guessed this total would go over. But in terms of the math, in terms of where everything prices it, the play here is actually on the under 52 on WinBet. But that's not going to be an official bet. If I had to choose between the spread and the total in terms of my confidence, I'm more confident in the Chiefs covering the 7 points than I am in any play on the total. Because as you can see, PIN, the OddsJam perfect line, sharpest line in the world, prices it at 51, heavily favoring the over. Other sharp books, BetOnline at 51.5, Bookmaker at 52. There's no consensus here on what a good play is for the total, which is why I like sitting this one out. The reason why the spread makes more sense is because BetOnline and Bookmaker price it at 7, but you can see they juice it towards the Chiefs at this number. BetOnline minus 115, other side minus 105. Bookmaker minus 117, other side minus 103, and then Pinnacle prices this at Chiefs minus 7.5. Granted, favoring the Raiders at this number, but that's because of that key number of the half point of the 7.5 for an underdog. At 7, things are obviously different. So that's it for the game preview specifically. In terms of player props or other types of sharp bets, I like to just go to the OddsJam Positive Expected Value page and find plays there. And the one that I really, really like, it's my favorite bet for this game, Jerick McKinnon under 15.5 rushing yards, minus 119 on play up. So this is going to be a 1 unit play for me, a full unit. That's the most I normally put on a player prop. So this is something that I'm very, very confident in. Bet has been locked in, so let me just add this to my bet tracker. Now let's chat about it. So I locked the play in on play up at minus 119 odds. If you look at a couple things, number one, the no vig line here prices this at about minus 123, minus 124 if you want to round up. So the gap between those two numbers, the no vig line and the number at minus 119, is where you get your positive expected value from. In this case, an EV percent of 1.71. Cool thing, telling me my recommended bet size of exactly $100, exactly a unit on this one. So for those of you who are using OddsJam, if you enter your bankroll in your settings, you click here, you go to your, my camera's blocking that. You click here, you go to your settings, you can enter in your bankroll, and then when you're looking at the EV page, it'll tell you exactly what to put on every play. So this is my favorite play of the night. And so I talked about the math, right? The 1.71% expected value. Look at where every other book except for BetMGM prices it. And that's actually another point. If you don't have PlayUp, because that's not available in all the legal states, BetMGM is. So if you can't get it on PlayUp, at minus 119. Just lock it in at BetMGM at minus 120. I think it's only 1 cent higher. It's still worth a unit play. It's still beating the closing line in terms of the no vig line. And then just look at the other books that price this. Caesars, minus 142. BetOnline, minus 139. Pinnacle, minus 149. Just an awesome play here, getting him to go under 15.5 at minus 119 odds. So this is going to be my favorite play of the game. Jerick McKinnon under 15.5 rushing yards. I also like it for handicapping purposes. He has slowly lost. So the starting running back, let me back up. Jerick McKinnon is a running back for the Kansas City Chiefs. The starting running back for the Chiefs is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Now, the Chiefs normally have some sort of split between their running backs, right? They don't have one running back take all the snaps like you see with Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, something like that. Prior to, like at the beginning of the season, I would say McKinnon was the key backup, was the number one backup. So the number 2 running back total. So he would get a decent amount of work because of how often the Chiefs switch out their running backs. But as the season has gone on, weeks 3, weeks 4, the Chiefs rookie running back, Isaac Pacheco, has started to bleed into Jerick McKinnon's snaps. And Jerick McKinnon isn't getting nearly as many snaps as he used to at the beginning of the year, like the first game, the second game. So betting on him to go under 15.5 rushing yards makes sense because he's also, when he is in the game, is more of a receiving back than a back that gets a lot of rushes. He's more gets receptions out of the backfield. So fading his rushing yards makes a ton of sense to me. I think that this is an awesome play. So obviously you saw me put 1 unit on it, and that is going to be it. So for those of you at home, Chiefs minus 7 is my official prediction, but my best bet of the game, Jerick McKinnon under 15.5 rushing yards, minus 120 on BetMGM if you don't have play up, and that's it. So I appreciate you guys watching, and have a good one.